Hello, people joining. How you doing? The reason I'm doing this live stream is I want to break down a little bit the album that came out on Sunday. I just want to kind of talk about what's going on there and some of the tracks on there. I'm going to break them down in more detail later in some YouTube videos, but I thought I'd kind of talk about it a little bit. But right now, I'm just going to wait for some more people to join. But yeah, pretty much today I'm just going to talk about some of the stuff on the album. You can feel free to ask any questions you have. If there was some stuff on there that you were like, wait, what the is going on? And if you haven't heard the album, then you can listen and maybe it'll inspire you to go listen to it. There's some stuff on there that's kind of like doesn't really have any real meaning. It's just kind of there for fun. There's also some stuff on there that's got some personal meaning as well as meaning for other people. So also, if you're one of my people that see me out busking and you're following me because of that, and you're like wondering why haven't I seen him out busking? Why is he not posting anything about busking? It's because the weather is crap. I should come to Moama, New South Wales. Where's that? I should definitely, if it's a cool place, you should definitely tell me where it is, and then I can go there. But yeah, so that's what I'm going to do today. I'm just going to break down that album, and we'll go from there, shall we? So I think we got some people watching. There's like 5 or so of you. We'll get more people as we go along. The first track that I want to talk about is Up. It's the first track on the album. It's On the River. Oh, sweet. There's lots of rivers in New South Wales, so I'll have to look it up, and then I might come there. My river. Sorry for the spam. All good, Hunting Midge. No problem with that spam. Okay, so the first track I wanted to talk to you about was Up. This track is kind of like my mate Ethan, or Don't Kill Sage, he was watching this. I don't know if he still is. He produced this track. Freaking big ups to him. We were just chilling out one day, and we kind of heard this really cool sample, and it had like these 3 little melody lines in it, and we kind of played around with it a little bit, layered them up, and then he added some sick drums to it, and it sounded like dope, and I was just like, I have to do something to this. And so I wrote Up, and originally it was going to be a track for the middle. It wasn't really going to be one of the main tracks of the album, but then I was kind of, when I was collating it together and trying to piece together which songs should go where, I was kind of like, actually, no, this sets up the album really, really well, because the whole album is based on this running concept of not wanting to grow up. And I guess the whole album, Lost in Space, as a concept for the album, is kind of, it's about where I am at the moment. Mate, I wish I was ready to win the Arias. I'm probably not going to, and probably hardly anyone's going to see this, so I'm just kind of doing it for fun and see who cares. But yeah, no, the concept behind the album was to do it, to kind of talk about what I'm going through at the moment. And so there was Up, which kind of set it up really well about, I'm finishing uni and going out into the world and seeing what the world's like, and being like, shit, I don't really want to grow up. I want to go back to being a kid. Like, this world is it's good in a lot of ways, but also has a lot of places where it needs to improve. But yeah, so I saw that, and I was kind of like, I thought that track really summed up the whole album pretty well. And then we go into Mad Love, which is kind of a track that I threw in for a bit of fun. And if you want to hear a bit of a breakdown of it, then you should definitely check out the YouTube video. There was a link in my bio before, but you can just look me up, Zachary Mark Music, on YouTube, and it'll be there. But yeah, no, Mad Love is hi Moana, how are you? I remember you from the Gold Coast. It was a good night. But yeah, no, Mad Love was a song I released as a single, so it is a little bit out there already on it, but pretty much I wrote it for fun. It was just kind of a story it was a song that I wrote a little while ago, and the story I thought was kind of funny and a little bit of a laugh, so that's why it's in there. Then this first time kind of comes back to that idea of not wanting to grow up. Again, this one was produced by Don't Kill Sage, freaking legend. Over there, he was like, there was a track on Rogue called Jealousy, and he kind of hit me up. He's like, oh, I made a beat that was kind of like Jealousy, if you want to have a listen to it. And so I went over to his place, and we were just chilling in his bedroom, and he had his mic set up, and we were like, and I was kind of playing around with some different melody ideas, and then I sang that first time. Oh, thanks. I appreciate that. I like that. I like that it inspires you to work out. Like, that's good. Stay healthy, stay fit. Thank you. I appreciate that you love the new album. I'm glad you do. It's good to hear some positive feedback. But yeah, and first time, and he's jumped on the track at the end because I wrote a verse and then recorded it, and then I was like, you know what, you should jump on this as well. Like, it's a dope track, and so he did, and his verse just came out better, way better than I expected, and it was just, I feel like he just completely outshone me on that. Absolute legend. Then we go into High School Girl, or HSG as it's called on the album, if you want to have a look at it. That song is probably one of my that song and track 5, Pain, are probably my favorite songs on this entire project. High School Girl I really liked because it was one of the first songs that I ever did that switched away from rap. It was a lot more pop than I had normally done. And I guess it was the thing, I'd been listening to a lot of John Bellion and a lot of some of those other R&B guys, and I kind of been playing around with some different samples, and I got my first ever record player that I could sample with, and I was like, I have to find something. And so I pulled out all of my old records that I'd picked up from the op shop for when I finally got a record player I could sample with. And the only thing I ended up sampling was just this shaker. There's like this one tiny half a second clip of this old disco record. Reconnecting. And then from that, it was one of those things. I kind of took that, and it was just literally this shaker, and I played it a couple of times, and I created the drum beat around that. And if you listen, you'll hear that kind of, it's like a tambourine sound shaker in the track, and that's how it all started. And then I kind of got a sample for the melody, and I was like, oh, I really like that. Changed it around, pitched it around, and found a good key for it, and did a bass line, and then I was kind of listening to it, and I was like, what does this sound like to me? And it sounded like being in high school. It sounded like, being that kid who, falls in love with a girl, but being the older guy now, looking back at that kid going, don't worry about it. If she leaves you, it's fine. There's plenty of fish in the sea. She's just another high school girl. Like, in high school, some people find love, but most people don't, because we're all a little bit lost in high school, and we don't really know who we are. So it's kind of talking back to a younger version of me going, hey, don't worry about it. It's just high school. The big bad word's still out there. Hi, new person. I was just breaking down the album at the moment, talking about what's going on with the new album, and kind of going through some of the different things. The next song there. Hi, Charlotte. How are you? I haven't seen you in so long. Just breaking down my last album that came out. So if you like it, stick around. Will I sing tonight? Yes, I will sing tonight if you would like me to sing tonight. I have plans for after I've broken down this whole thing. Then I'm going to go and I'm going to get on my guitar, which is over there, and I might sing a few tracks. G'day, Max. How you doing? But yeah, the next track on the album that I wanted to talk about was Pain. Now, Pain was a really cool track to make because it was one of those things where the whole song came out of one sample. And it was one of those things where you hear a sample and you hear a sound and you just have to run with it. And what I heard was this sound here. Oops, we don't have much sound. What I heard was this sound here. This vocal line singing ooh. This was it. And that was it. And after I heard that, I was like, I know what I'm going to do. And I sampled it. I put the drums in, bass line, everything. And it was like the whole song came together in like an hour and a half. Like, it was that quick because I just heard the sample and it's just like, I know what's coming on. Now, if you haven't heard the song, I don't really want to spoil it too much, but generally the story is it's kind of like if you've heard the song by J. Cole, A Tale of Two Cities. It's two stories from one side. It's the same story, but from two different perspectives. And so you hear in the first verse, you hear his perspective, and in the second verse, you hear hers. And if you listen closely with that kind of thing, you'll hear it. You'll hear it in the story, and it's kind of this concept that we're all in a level of pain that we don't know what to do with, and it's just about running with it and seeing what happens. Hi, new person. How you doing? We're just breaking down the album at the moment, so stick around. Then the next track was About Time. Now, this is a track. It was an old track that we put together ages ago. Again, my mate Don't Kill Sage hit me up with the production on this one. Well, we produced it together, really. And I remember us just chilling and listening to this sample, this one here, and just being like, that's awesome. It was just the melody line that, and then we added, and we had a couple of different loops for like that. You like taquitos. Cool. Love it. And then there was like that little rhythmic white noise sound and a couple of different other things that we added in there. And that just kind of set up the whole rhythm of the track. And the way that the samples kind of split into two parts with that swelling bass line. And then from there, we just filled in the drums and everything, and it just came together so quickly. But yeah, Hannah Rad 04. Who's that? I don't know who this is. Me, who's me? That really doesn't help. I'll add you at a later time. I'll just finish this quick. And then the next track, and that track was kind of just like about a bit of frustration with the way people act in a public domain. It's like everyone's trying to put up a face to meet the faces that they meet and not really being who they are. So that's kind of what that song is about. It's just like, it's about time that you guys told me something that you actually felt. Because, and you guys probably know how it is. You do something and people go, oh yeah, I love that. That's awesome. But then 2 seconds later, they act like, with the second your back's turned, they act like it was terrible to their friends. And yeah, my favorite Jesus book. There is really only one Jesus book, and it's called the Bible. So I guess it would have to be that one. But yeah. Yeah, other than that, and then there's the final track, which is Keep in Touch, which most of you probably would have heard on the street when I actually play it live. But Keep in Touch is a really fun track. It's a story about an ex-girlfriend of mine and it kind of came out of a single moment, but it kind of touched well with how I felt about lots of things in life and lots of people as I was leaving school. But the original story was more so like, there was a girl who had broken up with me at the time. And a little while later, it was like a year or so later, I sent her a message just like, hey, hope everything's going well. Just kind of wanted to make contact, see how everything's going. Classic, just trying to be a decent human, right? Just wanted to see how everything was going anyway. And then I get this scolding message back and I was like, geez, I wasn't trying to get back with you. I was just trying to keep in touch. And that kind of took that line and just rolled with it. And I embellished it with bits of other stories. So, some friends from high school who I didn't know who decided that they wanted to be friends with me now that I was making music, and a bunch of other things. And it's not like it was a bad thing. It's just kind of like, oh, I kind of see what's going on now. Now that I'm not just that nerdy kid in class who talks too much and also makes rap music, I'm actually on the streets playing to people, getting some success, getting some following. Suddenly people care. So yeah, it was kind of a bit of everything. And then I finish it with this really cool thing where I layer up all the different verses, all the different hooks from the whole album. And when I go into Keep in Touch, I'm going to break this down a little bit because there's a couple of little bits and pieces that I noticed that are in there that are kind of remnants of the way that the album used to be and how it's changed. So definitely, have a look. And when I break that down in a couple of weeks' time. Thank you so much. I'll be actually performing again in Melbourne because I'm in Melbourne at the moment. I'm in Parkville. It's where I'm living. And I'll be performing again in Melbourne as it starts to warm up. It's just too cold for my Gold Coast bones to be busking right now in Melbourne. But I definitely will be back. I will be back into the busking scene very shortly. But yeah, no, when I break Keep in Touch down in a little bit, there's this end bit. When's a new song coming? I released a whole new album on Sunday, Natalie. You got to get into it. Got to get behind it. Got to get behind it, man. But yeah, so I did Keep in Touch and I broke that down, and I'm going to break that down in a couple of weeks on YouTube. So Definitely listen to that last part because there's a few little bits where you'll notice hooks that aren't in there. Like, if you listen really closely, in this next section, there's a hook that you'll hear that's not in the rest of the album. And it's like, bad words. And that little line there is actually from a track that I did later that was going to be on the album, but I ended up taking off. Which I'll see if I can find it and play it for. Actually, no, I won't. I'll leave it for a later date. But yeah, no, and it's pretty good. What's the album called? The album's called Lost in Space. So you should check it out, definitely. The link's just in my bio if you wanted to check it out. Sick Beats, thank you. I appreciate it. I appreciate that you like the music. If you are liking the music, definitely hit the link in my bio. That'll take you to my Spotify page, and that's where the new album is. Also, if you can tell, I'm rocking a really disgusting CD Mo. It's like awful. Disgusting. All right, Hannah, I'll let you join my live. Let's see how... Oh, you've disappeared. Your request disappeared. Took it back. Sad. All right. That's really what I wanted to talk about mainly today. So I'm going to end my YouTube live stream now, which is actually going to post this video. And then I'm going to start doing some more fun stuff like singing and shit on Instagram. Sound good? Awesome. Well, to all the people, I'll catch you later. Thank you. Hopefully you enjoyed the video. Subscribe to the Instagram people. Let's keep going.